Most people misunderstand Job. They think it's a story about patience. It's not. It's a story about contradiction, about loving God while everything God allowed is falling apart. Job didn't lose faith slowly. He lost everything suddenly. Children, wealth, status, health, in moments. And that's what makes Job terrifying. There was no warning, no explanation, just loss. Before this story begins, let me ask you something quietly. Have you ever done everything right and still lost everything? If that question hurts, write in the comments right now, "I'm still here." Not as weakness, as resistance. Because the story of Job was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be honest. Job was described as righteous, faithful, blameless, and yet his life collapsed. This destroys a belief many people carry silently, that faith is a shield against suffering. Job proves something darker. Faith does not protect you from loss. Sometimes it qualifies you for it. Notice what Job does first. He doesn't curse God. He doesn't run. He sits in ashes, silent. Pain doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just sits with you. And if you've ever felt numb instead of angry, Job understands you. Then the voices arrive. Friends, religious friends. They come with answers, accusations disguised as wisdom. You must have done something wrong. God is correcting you. Repent, and this will stop. Job listens, and then he breaks. Not in rebellion, in honesty. Job doesn't deny God. He questions him. That's the paradox. Job never walks away from God. He argues with him. If you've ever prayed angrily, you are closer to Job than you think. Pause here for a moment. If this story feels personal, leave a like, not for the algorithm, but because acknowledging pain is the first step to surviving it. And if you're not subscribed yet, consider joining this channel. These stories are for people who don't need easy answers, they need truth. Job demands something radical. He asks God to explain himself, and for chapters, God is silent. This silence is worse than loss, because silence feels like abandonment. But here's what most people miss. God's silence does not mean distance, it means weight. Some answers are too heavy to be given quickly. When God finally speaks, he doesn't explain Job's suffering. He doesn't apologize. He asks questions. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Can you command the morning? Do you understand how creation holds together? God doesn't minimize Job's pain. He expands Job's perspective. And that's uncomfortable. Because Job wanted relief, God gave revelation. Here's the paradox of Job. Job never receives the reason for his suffering, but he receives something deeper, encounter. God doesn't restore Job's understanding. He restores Job's position, from demanding answers to standing in awe. And strangely, that was enough. Job says something extraordinary. I had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Suffering didn't destroy Job's faith, it purified it. Faith based on reward collapsed. Faith based on relationship remained. That's the line Job draws. Eventually, Job is restored, but don't romanticize that. The story is not saying, hold on and you'll get everything back. The story is saying, even if you never do, God is still God. Job's faith matured before his life was repaired. That order matters. Let me ask you something real. Are you serving God for who he is or for what you hope he'll fix? Because Job forces that question, and there's no neutral answer. If you're still watching, You're not weak, you're honest. This channel exists for people walking through faith with questions in their hands, not masks on their faces. Write in the comments, "I won't let go." Not as a promise to me, as a declaration to yourself. The book of Job doesn't end with clarity, it ends with humility. And maybe that's the lesson, that faith is not certainty, it's loyalty without guarantees. Stay with this channel. More stories are coming. Stories about silence, about loss, about faith that survives collapse. You're not alone here, and neither was Job.